You, Miss AOC, we do care about law and order, and we care about backing our men and women in blue. Jeez. My next guest, a big voice in the young conservative movement from Turning Point Action USA and also co-chair of Students for Trump, Ryan Fournier. Got to talk to you, Ryan, because we've got a lot of young liberals out there that are joining the ranks, and folks on college campuses, as we know, getting brainwashed by the left and their attempt to rewrite history and also just pretty much stomp out any conservative voice out there. What you and folks are doing at Turning Point and other organizations is great, because you're trying to get young people involved and get their voices heard, because you see how popular people like crazy AOC are to the left. We've got to have more voices out there, young like you, keeping the messaging going.
You know, you're 100% correct, Dan. Every time I hear AOC, and I hate to say this, but I feel like my IQ drops even more. And so I can only listen to a little bit of what she was saying on Instagram, but it's absolutely deafening to hear a U.S. Congresswoman say that the only thing Republicans care about in all the last 4 years where we were trying to make this country better than it was before, you know, it's bringing jobs back, having the greatest economy in my lifetime, record low unemployment numbers, you know, all of these amazing things that we can tout that we accomplished these last 4 years. She only thinks that we did this because of our whiteness, and that's not true at all. You know, we live in the greatest country on this earth, and everybody who lives here gets to share and live it. And you know, for someone to say that, you know, after the 6 months of the George Floyd riots, where people got to burn down their cities, take over police departments, create their own little cities within cities, where, you know, shootings happen and they had their own police force inside their own cities, was incredible that we went through that for 6 months. For 6 months. And one day, and I condemn the violence, so did Charlie, so did everybody else on our side. What happened on the 6th? One day where, you know, Trump supporters or not, or Antifa within the crowd stormed the Capitol building, we're just going to forget about what happened for the last 6 months across the country.
Yeah. And don't forget, Ryan, it happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. So Miss AOC, I love her hand movements and crap. Oh, my God. It just happened yesterday. Boston, Seattle, Portland, and Denver. And I'm sure there's other cities that I haven't seen. But it just happened yesterday. Antifa was back in the streets destroying crap. I didn't hear anybody from the left talk about it. I didn't see the mainstream lapdog media even cover it, because they were too busy covering this political theater in Washington, where a Biden administration takes over the presidency, claims unity, when all they've done is divide for over 4 years. It is so hypocritical. It makes me disgusted. How about you?
We're going back to the Obama days of news media and reporting. You know, it's like Kamala Harris's beautiful fashion statement she made today, or you know, Joe Biden's dogs, right? You know, we're going back to that news cycle. You're never going to see an attack on this family. You're never going to see an attack on his policies. He just slashed thousands of jobs today by killing the pipeline deal by executive order with the hand notion of a pen, killed thousands of jobs in this country. You're never going to see it. The hypocrisy in our media has never been clearer, and I encourage every American, look at the media reporting for the last 4 years, where a man, his family, and his supporters every single day woke up and were absolutely crushed by the media every single day, curb stomped every single morning, thousands of negative articles. You are not going to see that under a Joe Biden presidency. We're going to know what he's doing or what his favorite flavor of ice cream is before we know anything about what he's actually accomplishing in this country, because it's going to be nothing, Dan, and it's absolutely disgusting and despicable. I tell people, compare the economy 2 or 3 years down the road to what it was when President Trump was president, and you're going to wish he was still president.
Yeah, I love that AOC brings up whiteness, when before COVID hit, you had the lowest unemployment in every sector of this nation, whether it was Hispanics, the black community, Asian community, you name it. Raises were up across the board for women. Rights were given back to people. I mean, how can you say this was all about whiteness for 4 years under President Trump? He was returning power to the people, you moron. I mean, I just can't get it. Anyway, that's enough of that. I tell you. Got to ask you about this one, because you're a lot younger than me. And so I've seen a bit more, but I've never seen it like this. I mean, we've had the kind of, you know, ebb and flow and up and down roller coaster of left-right politicians and how far and extreme they go to the left and the right over the last several decades. But this, to me, right now, is the most extreme I have ever seen the left wing take hold and come front and center. Before, when you use the words like socialism and communism, that was in like a dark corner. But mainstream media and mainstream politicians never discussed it. It's being discussed everywhere in the halls of Congress on mainstream media, like it's an okay thing for our country to be moving towards that.
Yeah. You tell a lie over and over again, eventually it becomes the truth, right? You know, it's what we're seeing. The lie that socialism is going to solve America's problems, the lie that communism is better than capitalism. We've been hearing about it, and I think we're going to skip over socialism and go straight to communism. The fact of the matter, Dan, is that the fringe ideas that are being discussed right now were the fringe ideas of college campuses like UC Berkeley in the 80s and 90s, things that students would talk about and professors would entertain, but it would never leave the walls of a college campus. Now people are actually taking that and putting it into policy.
Yeah.
The firewall is gone. We lost the Senate. We have the opportunity and very well positioned to win it back here in 2022 and the House. But the firewall is gone. They can pass these bills. They can pass this Green New Deal legislation if they wanted to. And this stuff you would have never thought in a million years. Same thing with the gun issue. The NRA warned for years. It's never, you know, they're going to take away the ARs. They're going to come for your guns. And they warned about it. And then all of a sudden, it's happening right now.
Oh, yeah, Biden said, I'm going to destroy the NRA.
Past them.
Yeah, his words in that interview, I'm going to destroy the NRA.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. They're going to Texas, and I don't blame them. There's not a better place than Texas when it comes to the Second Amendment, but they're being unfairly treated as well. But I mean, this whole issue is that what is happening in this country is what happened on a college campus 30, 40 years ago. The ideas were not supposed to leave the college campus, and now they're in our government. Now it's like if you had an idea when you were a child, Dan, right? The Green New Deal, and you wrote it down on paper. If you were president, what would your bill be? And AOC wrote in crayon the Green New Deal, measuring cow farts, tearing down all government buildings if they don't meet a standard.
Right.
That's the Green New Deal, and that's now about to be national legislation.
Ryan, keep the messaging going. Tell folks where they can find you guys and all your information online, if it still stays online, who knows, with all the suppression. But I want young people especially, and I know we have a lot of viewers that are middle-aged and seniors, so maybe they can tell their grandkids and their kids, hey, I know what you're hearing at college, but here's some resources. Get educated for real about conservative values. Where should they go?
Yeah, look us up, rfangle.com, or you can follow me on Twitter. Just look up Ryan Fournier. So glad to be on.
Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. You take care, brother.
You too, man.